Our featured NIC Talk speaker is Brenda Bacon, President and Chief Executive Officer of Brandywine Senior Living. Ms. Bacon's talk is titled, I Want to Write My Own Story. Ladies and gentlemen, Brenda Bacon.
That's kind of trite, huh? Me walking onto the stage to Aretha Franklin singing I Want Respect. After all, we all want respect, right? I am the baby boomer. I want to write my own story. Today I am your buyer. You know, I'm the adult daughter that walks into your community and says, I want the biggest room for my mother and I want to negotiate the price. Okay? Tomorrow I'll be your buyer and your user. We baby boomers do like power. Every day, every single freaking day for the next 15 years, 10,000 of us, do you know this statistic? 10,000 of us will turn 65. Today we use up about half the federal budget. A couple of decades from now, it'll be 2/3. That's a scary thought, huh? I'm about to give you all my money. Okay, because we may not be the greatest generation, but we are the richest. I'm about to give you all my money. And what I want in return, honey, I want to write my own story. We grew up fighting conventional thinking. We made our own decisions. We changed the world. We created disruption. We decidedly reject what it is that we don't want to do. We're forced to be reckoned with because we make up 26% of the US population. We are the revolution, not the evolution, that's been rocking your world for the last 10 years. And we're just getting started. We are fierce, and we intend to be that way for the rest of our longer lives. I want to write my own story. First, I want to decide where I live, who I live with. I want to choose your house. Just like I saved for and chose that starter house when I first got married, and the larger house as my children were growing, and the glory of the beach house when they were grown. I want to gleefully abandon the stairs, the stove, the snow, and the silence. I want your house. I want to point to it when I pass it and say, that's where I want to live next. And I don't want you to try to scare me into it or make me dread it. Oh my goodness, the winter's coming. What in the world shall I do? I want to choose, not be chosen for. And when I do make that choice, I don't want you to tell me what to eat, what to do, or to hover over me. I don't want your staff to say to me, Miss Brenda, you better go sit down. The kitchen's getting ready to close. Because they don't talk to me like that at the St. Regis or at the Courtyard by Marriott. I want to write my own story. First, I want to be amazed and fascinated by what each new day brings. I want to talk about the future, not the past. I'm still climbing. But when I do talk about being in the presence of Martin Luther King Jr., or John Kennedy, or Bill Clinton, I want you to be intrigued by the experience and not try to figure out how many years ago that was. I want to talk more about Hillary and Jeb, maybe even Donald, than I do about Bill and George. I want to still change the world. The way I did with the civil rights movement, fight against the Vietnam War, the women's rights movement, or the sexual revolution. I want to still be idealistic and believe that we can accomplish anything together. I want to honor traditional values and still want to hear revolutionary ideas. I want to be Donna Reed. How many of you know who Donna Reed is? Thank you. I want to be Donna Reed and still celebrate a 69-year-old woman becoming president. I want to own the fact that I still choose the BlackBerry to the iPhone 5 or 6 or 10 or 15. And have you be curious as to why. And not assume I can't master the new gadget, because I can master the new gadget. I still want to be idealistic and live my life and be busy, not tweet about my life. In fact, I want to be so busy that every day when I get up, there are more things to do than I can possibly get accomplished. I want to be judged by the quantity and the quality of what I can do, and not by the year in which I was born. I want to always be the parent and never the child, whether my child is 10 or 30 or 50. I want to write my own story. I know you think we should be worried about other things, like what if we outlive our money? What will we do if we need help? I will tell you that if I win this game of living longer, and while I don't think about it much, we baby boomers don't worry about the future. We create the future. But we do worry about this world we live in. What if the negotiations with Iran go sideways? What if ISIS gets stronger? What if China becomes the superpower? What if the infrastructure of this country continues to fail under the burden of entitlements? What if we can't stop the senseless violence with guns that makes it less and less safe even to go to the movies? What if the hateful rhetoric against immigrants and people of color and people of different sexual orientation, or people who are educationally or economically less than we are, continues to grow and rocks our very foundation as a nation? What if we no longer believe the future will be better than the past? I want to write my own story. And I know you're thinking, oh my goodness, you should be worried about other things. What should I be worried about? What if the 12-hour days simply become impossible anymore? What if I'm on an airport shuttle and someone offers me their seat, not because they're trying to be polite or they want to flirt, but because they think I may fall? What if I no longer know when it's time to turn the page to something new and I cling to the past, no matter how magical the past was? What if the house I love suddenly becomes very empty? What if the fact that I've always been terrible at remembering names, and many of you know this, I've always been terrible at remembering names, suddenly turns into, I can't believe she called him George. It's such a shame. What will happen if I hear a whispered conversation? We shouldn't leave her alone anymore, right? What will happen if what I say is no longer the last word, but something to be indulged? What if I am nodded to, but ignored? What if I'm spoken about and no longer spoken to? What if I get sick? I want to write my own story. Because who has time to worry about those things? I certainly don't. I'd rather get hit by a truck in the back of my town car than experience any of them. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is what you most need to know. We baby boomers don't see vulnerability. We see challenges to beat. We baby boomers don't plan for the future. We create the future. We baby boomers don't adjust. We expect you to adjust. We baby boomers don't passively settle. These boots are made for walking. We baby boomers don't compromise. We demand. I want to write my own story. So what are you supposed to do with us? What do you do with these baby boomers? First, I want to be 85 and still have you want to pinch my butt. I care more about what you think than what I think. I want to enjoy the company. Because what I thought 30 years ago is not as important as what you think right now. I want to enjoy the company of a 35-year-old and learn something from a 25-year-old and not sit around reminiscing with old people. I still want to have to drink 3 or 4, and somebody in here later will tell you it's 5 or 6 Bloody Marys before I can get on a plane. Still be able to. I want to decide for you, not have you decide for me. I want to be amazed by each day and to amaze you. I want to realize that no matter how long my life is, it is still too short to diminish someone because of where they were born, what language they speak, or who they choose to love. I still want to get goosebumps when I hear the national anthem or watch Air Force One for the 100th time. For this country, with all its warts, is still the greatest country on earth. And people die every day to get to the place where we were lucky enough to be born. I want to take high risk and reap high rewards. I want to reach back and take somebody's hand. I want to turn every failure into a roaring success. And I want to walk off the stage blowing the smoke off my gun. I want to write my own story. Thank you.